Well, good morning everyone. This is George Bayruthi from FS Securities giving you the weekend review for Monday morning, the 10th of November. Here we are. We are a stockbroking firm located on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia. A bit more about the company later in this presentation. But let me start with the disclaimer. Everything I say here is for general advice and general information only. Before you take any action, please consult with your professional advisor or talk to us directly. A copy of this disclaimer is available to you should you wish to receive it. We are one phone call away from you. Today we finish off a technical indicator series on stochastic, and this is actually part 5. And prior to that we finished a series on different technical indicators. And prior to that we had a comprehensive series on options trading, and prior to that we had also a comprehensive series on futures contract. So if you wish to peruse and see those editorials, education, all you have to do is go to the website and subscribe on a 15-day free trial if not already a member. Let me start with the data. On Saturday morning we woke up and we saw that Wall Street stocks were actually slightly up. The Dow Jones Industrial Average finished at 17,573. It was up 19 points or 0.1%, and that is a new record high. The S&P 500 index finished almost unchanged from previous close at 2,032. Over the full week, the Dow Jones was up 169 points or 1%, and the S&P 500 was up 0.5%. In Europe, the Stoxx 50 index that comprises several European major markets was down by 1.2% on Friday night to 3,102. In London, the FTSE 100 index was up by 0.2%. In Japan, the Nikkei index was down 0.8%, and in China the Shanghai index was up 0.1%. So it was a mixed bag. On the commodities, gold on Saturday morning was trading at 1,177, that's US per ounce, and that is up $33 from the very same time on Friday, the day before, but still $60 below where it finished 2 weeks ago. Silver on Saturday morning was at $15.70, that's up 32 cents, and over the full couple of weeks it was down by 9%. Oil closed at 78.5 US a barrel, that is up 50 cents, and that is down 3.5% over the last 2 weeks. Copper, the world's economic barometer, was up 0.7% to 303 cents per pound, and that is on Saturday morning. Iron ore, which is important for our miners such as BHP, Rio, Atlas Iron and Fortescue, was up 0.6% at 75.8 US a ton, and this is still the lowest level in 5 years. Our dollar is now 86.5 US cents, 99.1 Japanese yen, 69.3 euro cents, and 54.5 British pence, and these of course are intra-banks rates. On our market on Friday, the benchmark ASX 200 index was up 43 points or 0.8% to 5,549. However, over the full week the index was up by 0.4%. The best performers amongst the leaders over the full week: Bramble up nearly 3%, followed by CBA up by 2.8%. The worst performer was Newcrest Mines, down 6%, followed by NAB, down 5%. Amongst the sectors, the best sector was actually Telecom, which was up by 2.4%, and the worst sector was gold, down by 7%. Now local shares are poised to open flat. The SPI futures contract showing 6 points down a short time ago, indicating a slow opening. On the economic news that may affect our market, and those markets overseas. In Australia, we have the home loans data showing the activity in the housing industry, and in China we have their inflation rate, the CPI figures, and that will be at 10:30 Queensland time. During the week, our analysts here at FS Securities places several stocks for picks and trades, and this is only a summary of the positions. In more detailed information is placed on the website under our picks and trades menus. If you wish to discuss any of these stocks, you may wish to call us directly or visit our website. Every day we update the market volume to show the trend over the last 3 weeks. We also like to show the ratio of advances to declines. It really shows the strength of the momentum and how the buyers and sellers interact. I believe this is one of many ways to understand the trend of the market. Again, this chart is available on our market report that we send to our subscribers and we place on the website. Every week we also show you the advances to decline ratio over the last 10 weeks. What we see here is there has been, even though the last 2 weeks were very positive, overall last week was actually a bearish trend, even though the market went up by 0.4%. However, the declines exceeded the advances. So overall, when you consider there are 2,200 stocks on our market, the majority were actually on the downside. We like to also show you day by day the 10 well performing company as well as the 10 worst performing. That's on Friday. Again, if you want to do further study on any of those stocks, perhaps we can give you a hand by calling us if you wish. On Friday, 10 Network was up by nearly 17%, following the day before, which was up by 6.6%. So 2 consecutive, very positive trading. Bidel was up 2 days in a row, 7% the day before on Thursday, and on Friday it went up by another 8.5%. So again, we show you the trend 2 days in a row. So if you can see the same company rising 2 days consecutively, you may actually want to discuss it with us. Finally, looking at the stock on Friday, we can see here by looking at this column here, most stocks were actually down, only few went up. On the upside, we can see that telecommunication was up 0.7%, followed by utilities 0.6%. On the negative side, you can see down here on this column, the worst performing was gold, down 2.2%, and the rest is on the screen. Now also on Monday, we give you a special by looking at the 2 weeks as changes in the overseas market as well as our sectors and our stocks. And if you look at this column here, that's what I'm showing you at the moment, there is a 2-week change. You can see that the Dow Jones over the last 2 weeks was up by 4.5%, and the S&P 500 was up by 3.2%. And what we can see here, the volatility index, which is the fee gauge, was down nearly 17% over the last 2 weeks. Remember, it was nearly 30 points only a few weeks ago. That really tells you whether the market is nervous or complacent. At the moment, it looks like it is on the complacent side. The US dollar was up 2.2% over the last 2 weeks, still very strong, and the Australian dollar was down 1.7%. We also like to show you the ratio of puts to call options, and you can see here it's 0.8. That means for every 1 call option we have 0.8 put options. So it seems to be like the market in America seems to be quite positive at the moment and not too concerned about the future. Now, as far as commodities are concerned, we've got gold down 5.8% over the last 2 weeks, and silver was down 8.6% over the last 2 weeks. Again, we noticed that, and we said it before, when gold is down, silver is usually down by much more percentage. Crude oil was down 3.4% over the last 2 weeks, and coffee continues to fall nearly 5% over the last 2 weeks after seeing nearly 90% rise over the last 12 months. Okay, on the Australian market, we see that most of our sectors were all up, except gold was down nearly 15% over the last 2 weeks, and metal and mining was almost slightly lower. On the positive side, we can see that the best sector over the last 2 weeks, we've got telecommunication and properties. On the stocks, we have Newcrest Mines 12.4% on the downside. ANZ was down 0.4%. On the positive side, we have Westfield nearly 6% up, and Wesfarmers 5.4% up. Also, CBA 5% and AMP 6%. Again, the purpose of this table, we look at 1 week and see if that was actually within the same trend over the last 2 weeks to put more impetus into the trade. Finally, we'd like to show you the companies that are actually going ex-date, and we have Westpac going out ex-date today with nearly 90 cents up with 5.2% yield. CSR, and you can see the rest of the companies on that list. Alright, finally, who I am. My name is George Beiruthi. I'm the director here at FS Securities. As you can see, I have many years of trading and investment experience and several qualifications to support what I offer my clients. My ambition today is to help our clients and prospective clients to become effective investors and traders. Here we are. We're a stockbroking firm on the Gold Coast, as we mentioned earlier. We're fully licensed. We trade shares, options, commodities, CFDs and foreign exchange, and offer our clients a very attractive investment at 7% over 1 year, interest paid monthly, or 9% over 3 years, interest paid monthly. Also, we are financial planners and cater for all your financial needs. How to reach us? Now is the time to reach us. You can call us on our landline 61 for Australia, 7 for Queensland, 56304141. That's our landline. My mobile number is 610411259526. You can write to me, George at fssecurities.com.au, or you can visit our website www.fssecurities.com, where you can surf right through the website to see our daily recommendations, daily scans, current trading positions and result. You'll also see our tutorials, education webinars, daily editorials and many charts and a lot of information. So why don't you register now for the 15-day free trial. And that's all from us here at FS Securities. Remember to trade safely and wisely. We will be back at 1:15 Queensland time this afternoon to tell you what happened during the morning, and of course this will be recorded and placed on the website. Have a nice day.